Alright guys, I'm back. I just didn't want it to go over 25 minutes. So now I'm just doing the... Actually, I did that wrong. See how easy it is to mess up? When that happens, don't freak out. Just wipe it off. Because you're going to have Mod Podge on the back of it too. Flip it over. You want to put the Mod Podge over the front of the image. I'm so used to doing everything on the back. It's so crazy. You want to have plenty of Mod Podge on the front because it's going to be really tacky on that glass when you go to slide it down, and you don't want tacky. You want slide. Okay? You want it to slide down that. It's going to be really difficult, I'm going to tell you, with this size of a jar. You will have a much easier time if you have a wide mouth jar. Just a little tip. I was not paying attention to that whenever I purchased that case of jars. It's already super tacky. I can feel it. Okay. It's like one of those one-shot kind of deals. This is not going to be fun, I'm telling you. It's going to be difficult with this jar, but I'm gonna try to wing it. Now, what I did before is I took the bottom of a paintbrush, I attached it to the paintbrush, and I prayed to the heavens above that the image didn't stick. Okay? So far, so good. Well, hopefully it will not stick. Okay? When I got it into the jar, yeah, see, we might have a problem with that. This is kind of an awkward one. Let's see if I can do it this way. Go down in the jar, because you really don't want to mess your image up. Okay, I've got it in there, but I want to straighten it up. Okay. I know you guys can't see me, but I've got to do this like off frame. You just have to play with it and have a lot of patience, or you're going to really have a bad time with it. You could rip your paper and have to start all over, and that would be really bad too. So far, it's looking okay though. Take a clean, dry brush and kind of maneuver it in. I don't like that brush though. I need something with a little bit more fluff to it. You don't want to brush the back. You want to pat it. Even strokes. Pat it as gently as you can because you got some air in there. Your Mod Podge is going to dry clear. So it doesn't matter if it looks a little chunky on the image. It's all going to dry clear. Okay. It's almost straight, but I feel like I need to move it down just a little bit more. There we go. It's a little bit higher than I expected, but I don't want to mess it up. We have it in there now. Okay, it's inside there. And I honestly feel like I want to do some stripes on the inside of this because it is the Cheshire Cat. So I'm actually going to take it like it is now. Let me see if I can go zoom in just a little bit here. You see how you have the back of it that's kind of solid? While it's still wet, I'm going to actually purposely do some stripes in it like that. See how it looks now? Because it is the cat. Okay? It doesn't have to be in any specific order either. Like, I don't really care if they're even or not. It's not the point that I'm trying to make. It's such freedom when you're doing mixed media. I said that before. You do it how you want to do it. Because at the end, it's all going to be really cool. You know, you're going to have a really awesome candle that's run by a battery-operated tea light that lights up your room or your kid's room. And it's really cool. Like, I'm not even playing. I have them all over the place. They work really good when the power goes out, too. Okay, so I'm going to set this over here, not wetting that brush. I want to keep that brush dry. This is the Mod Podge, right? Where did my paint? Is this my paint? No, this is the Mod Podge one. Hold on. We don't want to do that. All right, hold on a second. Let me find my paint container. What did I do with it? Really? That's not it either. What did I do with my paint, y'all? Seriously? Oh, I didn't have a paint container. I remember now. Lord, help me. It's time to go to bed. I put it inside the jar, right? Cheese whiz. Really? I need a vacation. I really need a vacation, guys. Okay. So, I want to find the black now. I am going to be very stingy with the black. I don't want to go all, you know, where it's going to overpower it. I'm going to take my brush. Let me find it here. There's a special one that I was using. A little bit bigger. That's probably this one. Get all the water out of it that you can. You want all the water out. And you're going to do it where it's not going to just overtake the entire jar because you want the glow. You know what I'm saying? You definitely want your glow. I swear that paint drives me nuts. So you can hit it with some heat. I'm actually going to do that before I try to do this because I'm going to really like mess up here if I don't. Set that there. Let me find my heat source. And it's going to dry pretty quick with the hair dryer or heat gun because it's acrylic paint. So give me just a second. Okay. All right, so I got it in there like that. Now I'm just going to go back through and I'm going to fill it in with a little bit of black here and there, but I'm not going to do it all crazy like where it covers everything. Because the black will ruin everything. Like the black will make it where the candle can't glow. Just little specks of it here and there. Okay? And even like gray would be good. If you could do some gray, that would be good too. The bottom of it doesn't matter. Up in here doesn't matter. Because that that candle's still going to be bright enough. So just carry it all the way through. I'm actually going to add some of this chalk to the acrylic because it'll make it dry a lot faster too. The chalk paint dries really well. Could do a drop or two in that because I really don't want all black. I'm trying to give the you know what I'm saying, the effect of black, but not because black on a candle with a candle underneath it like that, it's not going to be good, y'all. The candle won't be able to shine through. So I'm basically just mixing my paint. I'm going for a gray, but I want to go for a lighter gray. Okay. And I'm not using all of that I mixed. I'm not using all of that I mixed because that's way too dark. I'm actually going to pick up the swirls that are on there and go with it. Okay. So I'm going to pick up my swirls. See how the swirls are on the brush? See, you got both colors that are kind of blending in together. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's actually swirled though. And I'm going to go back in, paying close attention to right in here in this area. I probably didn't pick up enough, which is fine. You can do the whole brush wet if you want to. There's no specific way to do it. You want to keep gaps in it though, because that's where the light from the candle is going to be able to bleed through. I can still feel the heat from the jar, from the hair dryer. I'm doing those marks like that on purpose because I'm going to fill it back in with a little bit of white. There is a method to the madness, guys. I promise it will all come together. You're probably like, what is she doing? I've done this a lot. I think we may have a problem with the kitty cat's eyes here coming up. So let me fix that really quick with some Mod Podge. Give me just a second. I feel like it's coming up and I don't want that. The paint was trying to bleed through on the eye. When that happens, if it happens to you, squeeze the paper towards the jar and it will squeeze all of the paint off of it. It will roll right out the top and then you will not have the eye covered up with paint. When you know that the paper is adhered to the jar, that's when you can go back over it with the brush and you'll be fine. You do not have to use gray. You don't have to use black or white or gray or any of that. I've seen so many images of the Cheshire Cat. I've seen them in pink and black, white and black. It's your choice. If you even wanted to do a blue one, it doesn't matter. It's all freedom. You know what I mean? I just want to go this color because this is going to be like a tarnished jar. This is going to be an old jar. It's going to make it, it's going to be like an old kind of theme. Okay. I'm noticing I'm getting the same thing on the bottom here. If you had a wide mouth jar, it would be so much easier to work with. I don't, so I'm just using my fingers as much as I can to press it down. It looks like it's going to come back up, but I think it looks fine. Continue on with your journey. I do want to throw some more white on top. I'm not going to mix it this time. You can see I'm not going to mix it this time. I'm just going to take it from the top of the palette because I've already got gray on my, you guys can't see anything, can you? Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. I've already got gray on my brush, so I'm just going to touch the white and it'll transfer gray and white onto the candle or onto the jar. Your white is what's going to make the luminous come through from the candle. Okay. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You could continue to do this with your fingers if you wanted to, or just fight with the brush. It's all your thing. You probably have a paint dauber. If you could get that inside the jar, that works too. I usually just tough it out and use the brush. And I'm basically just going around the top of the jar. You don't have to use paint. You can use tissue paper. You can use any kind of paper you want to put on here. I like the paint effect better. I'm just different though. This is what is the time consuming part because you're trying to cover every area. I need a brush. I wish they would make brushes that bend. I bet they do. I might be on to something. I don't know. This is the frustrating part though, because the mouth of this jar is so narrow. I don't have no way to do it but to hold it up out of frame to cover it. You know what I mean? And that is annoying. I just want the coverage. And then you continue all the way up to the mouth of the jar. You want all of that covered too. All the way around to the top. You're probably going to have a few spots. You can see what I'm doing. You're probably going to have a few spots in here that are not covered. It's okay. It is okay. Just take your time with it. Don't try to get in a hurry. Okay. Now, I pretty much have it covered. Okay. It's looking a little transparent. One test is to hold it up against the light and see how much you can see through it. Okay. Another thing I like to do is throw in some glitter. So what I'm purposely going to do is I'm going to make stripes in this and I'm going to fill it in with glitter. But to do the glitter, the paint has to be wet. Okay. So you're going to go back over some of those spots that are in there and you're going to wet it again. I'm pretty sure most of this is still wet. But you never know working with paint. I'm almost positive it's all still wet though. Alright, I'm going to go back in with this with some black glitter. Let me find my glitter container here. I really like the black. The light hits it and it shines and it's really awesome. My black glitter came from Dollar Tree. It's in a little vial like this. It's really pretty too. I mean, it's got a lot of shimmer to it. So I'm just going to fill in my jar like all over. Take the jar and rotate it in your hand when you're filling it. Do a little bit here. I really got a little nutty there on the top. You can shake it around in there at the bottom. It's going to really adhere though. Just get all down in there with the glitter as much as you can because it's going to make it really pretty. That glitter is actually going to shine through when the light hits it. Okay, I've used like a boatload of this stuff. Take it and hit your jar, and because you're going to have a pile of it at the bottom. Okay. You can take your finger and kind of spread it around too. It might come on your finger, it might not. I don't know. It just depends on where it lands when you sprinkle it. The glitter is always a nice touch though. Wipe that off. So there you have it. You have the inside of the jar completely painted. This is my preference for color. I see up here in the top that we don't have it covered, so this is what I do. I take my finger and I just wipe over it. You just want it covered. Okay? This is my preference. I wanted it to be a gray jar. I'm just different. Okay? So that is that part of it. Okay, now I need to figure out what do I want to do with my word art. Do I want to go back inside the jar with it or do I want to go on the outside of the jar with it? I'm going to go on the outside of my jar with it. I don't want to go on the inside. I could, and I could show you just how easy it is to reverse that if I change my mind. I've got to get this paint off my fingers first though. Okay. All right, so let's see. This is the words, okay? And it says, we're all mad here, and I just dropped it, really? Okay. I want to cut this a little bit more detailed. And that's basically what I'm doing, guys. I'm just cutting it more detailed to follow the line of the letters. Like that. See how it looks now? Really simple. Now look at it. Well, I'm trying to knock everything I own on the floor. See how it's cut now? Alright, so now I'm just going to Mod Podge this. Let's say I didn't, like I really want to put it on the outside, but let's just say I want to put it on the inside. All I'm going to do is wipe off some of that paint that I've got in here. And then just find a spot for it. And then put it in there. So let's just go right here. That chalk paint will move pretty easily. Wipe it down. Get your spot. See how easy it is working with the paint? You just wipe it back out. Get your Mod Podge. And your brush. My brush is probably soaking. And your cloth. You're going to Mod Podge it to the bottle, and then you're going to go back in and fill back in behind it with your paint again, and you're good to go. I'm doing the same steps that I did when I had them on the photo paper. I'm just going to Mod Podge it. Do it on the back. Touch it on the front. You want to put a little on the back of it because you want to use the back of it to touch the paintbrush thing that you're using to bring it down into the jar. That's all that's about. Okay, take your paintbrush again, attach it, the sticker part, because it's sticky on the front and the back, attach it to your paintbrush or stick, skewer, wooden thing, whatever, like that. It's tacky on the back and on the front, and you're just going to go down in the jar with it and attach it to the wall of the jar. Okay? When you get it inside there, and it's inside the jar now, you're going to take your hands, fingers, whatever, and you're going to lay it down the way that you want it. Okay? Okay, I'm going to actually use my fingers here to lay this down. This is where it gets a little messy, but it's worth it in the end. You end up a really pretty jar. Okay? Now I have it inside of there. Okay? Alright. Now I just follow my steps again back with the brush that I had before. That was my Mod Podge brush. That's not the brush I had before. This one is. Nope, this one is. Okay. Okay. So that's pretty much it, guys. You're just going to go back in and fill it back in. All of the marks that you took out of it. Go back over it again. I'm going to let this jar dry overnight. Probably let my other elements dry overnight. And then we will move on to the third part. The third part is going to be making the tags and attaching them to the jar with all the other goodies that we're going to put on here. Okay. So this is what we have so far going out of part 2 into part 3. You have your jar. You have your face on it. Okay. You have your jar. You have your word art on it. Okay. Just to show you the luminescence that's in this, before I'm going to turn the light off, but I got to get one of those candles. These are the candles that I use, and I know the jar is still wet, but it's not going to hurt this candle to get a little bit of paint on it. I'm going to show you the luminescence just at this step that we're at right now. Just at the step that we're at right now. When you get these candles, there'll be a little slip of paper that's on the inside of it. Just pull that out. Turn it on. You can see how bright the candle is. I mean, well, I can. You probably can't because it's ridiculously bright in here already. Alright, so I'm going to stand up and turn the light off. And I'm going to drop that candle down in there. Okay, and I know it's a little dark, but just bear with me. Drop it down in there. Okay. And look. This will tell you your luminesce. Okay. See how the paper looks all transparent now? See how the candle, the marks that are in it are kind of like striped? And see how the candle flickers? And that's a Cheshire Cat face. And it's probably hard to see that with the glare, but I think that it's going to work fine. When you turn it over, you can see it, but we've got this stupid glare from the monitor that's not letting you that's not allowing you to see it. But it really is, it's going to luminesce through there. But the main thing is his face. That is a step that you want to do. You want to take that step and you want to make sure that what you're doing so far is a good enough coverage on there, or, you know, where the light's going to be able to shine through it. If you want to add more color to it, you just keep going with it. But I'm probably not. I'm probably going to stop there because I think it's fine. I think we can see his face and it's all good to go. So, all right. I'm almost at a half hour. For real? So that's where we are with it. I am going to let this jar dry overnight. That's the basic steps, though. That's the basic steps in doing your jar. Even with the lights on, you can see the you know, candle trying to flicker through there. So I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to let these probably dry overnight and tomorrow. So I'm going to cut these out tomorrow. We now have them from the drawing to here. Okay. And then we will turn these into tags tomorrow. And the tags are actually going to be hanging with chains. I have a chain and I have some little metal hooks. And I'm going to actually do charms hanging off both sides of this jar. And I'm going to think about what I want to do on the lid of it. I have some roses. I might do some roses around it and do the red on the petals to make it look like the painted roses. So many ideas I have for this, but I don't want to rush through it. So this is where we are. I'm going to let you guys go because it's kind of late and way past my bedtime. And we will pick up tomorrow afternoon whenever I get through with my crazy, insane work day. So I hope you guys are able to follow me so far on this. I hope that it inspires you to give it a shot. That's all I'm here for. You know what I mean? So this is where we are so far. And I will see you guys in part 3. We're in part 3 now, right? I don't know, guys. It's been a long day. I've done a lot of tutorial videos today. So I guess that's it. Hopefully, it inspires you to do it. You can see just how simple it is. You know what I mean? It looks complicated and crazy when you have it all together, but whenever you really look at it, I mean, everything has a process, right? So, all right, guys, you guys have a good night, and I'll see you guys in part 3 tomorrow. You guys will see all of this at the same time, but to keep myself straight, I'll have to write down part 3 because ADD sucks. Really sucks. So, all right, guys, you guys all have a good night, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow, except I'll talk to you today. You know what I mean. It's late for me, so have a good night.